Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Secretary Mattis, General Dunford, thank you so much for your years of dedicated service to the United States. Secretary Mattis, you mentioned that in previous testimony today that we don't have confirmation yet whether or not there was a chemical attack. Don't we reasonably have enough evidence to certainly to believe that there was an attack, and the fact that they didn't, the Russians and the Syrian Assad government did not grant immediate access, I believe that was requested. Could you speak to that?
I can, Congressman. I believe there was a chemical attack, and we're looking for the actual evidence. The OPCW, this is the Organization for the Chemical Weapons Convention. We're trying to get those inspectors in probably within the week. You know the challenges we face, where Russia has 6 times in the UN rejected and made certain that we could not get investigators in. We will not know from this investigating team that goes in, if we get them in, if the regime will let them in, we will not know who did it. They can only say that they found evidence or did not. And as each day goes by, as you know, it's a non-persistent gas, so it becomes more and more difficult to confirm it. So that's where we're at right now, sir.
Okay, thank you. Just a question on the light attack aircraft. Secretary Mattis, General Dunford, the Air Force is currently testing a light attack aircraft that may be acquired by the Department for use as a cost-effective way to provide close air support of counterinsurgency, armed reconnaissance, and other combat operations in a more when in a more permissive threat environment. I think an F-22 was recently used to attack a Taliban drug lab. I think that's $70,000 an hour in terms of the operational cost, and a light attack aircraft I think it's approximately about $1,000 in terms of its operational costs an hour. I wonder if you could speak to having them in our inventory as we're, again, in a low-threat environment where we don't have air-to-air threat, where we have a limited ground-to-air threat, and also be able to sell those in terms of foreign military sales to our allies that can't afford an F-35 aircraft, and that to foster a better military relationship with many of our allies. Could you speak to that, please?
Yeah, yes, sir. Congressman, you hit on all the right points, sir. We are looking for affordability, and where we don't need an aircraft that costs $17,000, $20,000, $70,000 per flight hour, we need to look at it as a way to deliver readiness and combat capability on an affordable basis. And we are looking at it. As you know, the Chief of Staff Air Force personally flew in one to check it out, and I think you hit on all the right points there about why we're looking at this, sir.
Okay. General Dunford.
Congressman, the role I play is to identify the capability that the force needs. What you've described as a capability that we need, and the Chief of Staff of the Air Force, I know, is committed to delivering that low-end capability at the most cost-effective way possible, and that's really why these trials are ongoing. So we support his attempt to get that capability at the best cost we can, meeting the criteria you outlined.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.